Hey, what's up everybody? Tony with Lido, Loca. Welcome to the YouTube channel. Welcome to another video. If you are new to cruising, sometimes the price of your cruise can be a little bit of a mystery. What's included, what's not included. In today's video, I'm going to tell you 20 items that are not included in your base cruise fare. Again, thanks for stopping by. If you're brand new here and you enjoy cruising content, consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of our new videos. So many first-time cruisers will use the cruise line's website to book their cruise. It's a pretty simple process, but what you have to know is the price that they present you on most of the cruise line websites is the bare minimum price. It is basically your base fare, your cruise fare for your cabin, and it doesn't include several things. So let me tell you this list of 20 items not included in that base cruise fare. So number one is your port fees and taxes. This will not be reflected in the base cruise fare. Normally you have to go all the way through a booking and those are added on at the end. These numbers will vary depending on your itinerary. Different cruise ports charge the cruise lines a different amount of money to get into the cruise port, and therefore depending on where you're going, your taxes and your port fees will be different, but it is an additional cost to the base cruise fare. Number two, another item that's not included when you first book your cruise, you can include it and prepay it, are gratuities. The majority of the major cruise lines have a daily service fee or a daily gratuity charge that they automatically add to your shipboard account while you're sailing, and many of them give you the option to prepay that prior to your cruise. And I know some folks out there don't like the automatic gratuity system and they will opt to remove the ship assigned gratuities and pay on their own. Again, that's money that you have to come up with. So whether you do the ship's automated system or whether you tip on your own, don't forget to budget for gratuities. Number three, and this is a big one, most cruise lines, alcohol is an additional charge. Sometimes when you book your cruise, you can get a perk, you can choose a drink package. But for the most part, you're going to have to pay additional money for alcohol. Many of the cruise lines will allow you to bring one bottle of wine per adult on board. Some cruise lines don't. So for the most part, you can calculate that you're going to have to spend money on alcohol. And that's different from cruise line to cruise line. But just the big call out here is it's not included in the base fare for most cruises. Another item that's not included with your base cruise fare is soft drinks. Much like alcohol, that's something the cruise line wants you to pay for. Again, many of the cruise lines will allow you to bring a 12-pack of soda on board. Some don't. So for the most part, if you want to consume soda on the cruise line, it's going to be an additional fee. There are included free drinks on the cruise ship. It varies by cruise line. But for the most part, there will be tap water, iced tea, brewed coffee, and possibly cartons of milk or a milk machine. Just depends on the cruise line. So number five, and just to close out drinks that are not included in the base fare, let's talk about specialty coffee. Do you like an Americano? Do you like a hot white chocolate mocha? Do you like an iced coffee that's mixed together? Those will cost you additional on most cruise lines. Again, usually it's just regular brewed coffee that is included in your base fare. And so if you want something a little different, it's probably going to cost you. Number six is professional pictures. One of the things you'll encounter on cruise ships are professional photographers that are there to snap your candid pictures when you're out and about on the ship, or to snap your picture in front of a backdrop that the ship provides. They may even be outside the cruise ship at port snapping pictures of you, and all those pictures will be available to you for sale either through a digital system that you can browse through the pictures, or some cruise lines actually print out the pictures, post them up on a wall, and allow you to buy them. We bought a few cruise pictures. They normally run between $14 and $25. I've even seen pictures for up to $30. And so it can get pretty expensive. Some cruise lines offer a picture package. So if you are into getting professional pictures from the cruise line, make sure you budget for that, or look into one of these packages that you can pay in advance or that you can pay on the cruise ship to get the best value for the amount of pictures that you want to buy. Number seven, most cruise lines have an arcade, but the arcade games are not included in your cruise fare. Like many things on the cruise ship, you can pay for arcade games with your shipboard account, or you can purchase a card that you can load with funds from your shipboard account and and play arcade games. This is one of those expenses that could really rack up, so you got to be mindful if you have someone in your family that's going to the arcade frequently and you're in charge of the shipboard account. You want to keep an eye on it, you want to regulate it, because those games are somewhat expensive, and even if they're not, if you play them a lot, you can rack up a big fee. Not included in the base fare is your fun at the arcade. Now, number 8 on the list are spa treatments. Most of your modern cruise lines have a spa facility where they will offer a variety of treatments, from teeth whitening to massages to acupuncture, a variety of make you feel good treatments. None of those are included in your base cruise fare. Those are all an additional expense that you would need to budget for. You can look for some times where they give discounts on spa treatments. A lot of times that will happen on port days. You can go on a spa tour, usually on the first day of your cruise, where they might give you a coupon or some other special on a treatment. So if you are interested in getting a spa treatment at sea, first of all, know that it's an additional charge, and then look for those opportunities where you can save money on your spa treatment. Number 9 is excursions. Of course, you're going on a cruise, and your cruise will most likely take you to a foreign port, and you might want to do something organized in that foreign port. The cruise lines have a whole department dedicated to excursions. They offer a variety of excursions for a variety of activity level, and they will, of course, charge you for this. This is not something that's included on most cruise lines in their base fare. So make sure that you budget money for excursions if that's what you want to do. You can prepay many of those, so it's one of those things that you can pay in advance and not have to worry about it while you're on your cruise. And just a note, if you do purchase your excursion through the cruise line, they will guarantee that the ship will wait for you, or that they will make an arrangement for you to meet up to the ship if the excursion runs late. That is not true with third-party excursions, but you do pay a premium for shipboard excursions. They are more expensive most of the time compared to a third-party excursion, but there are many reputable third-party excursion companies out there, so you don't have to limit yourself to ship excursions. Just depends on how much you want to pay, whether you're worried about that getting back to the ship on time, you want that guarantee, and again, what you want to do at the cruise port that you're visiting. But the big takeaway, excursions, something else you need to budget for, something not included in the cruise price. Number 10, while there is an abundance of food that comes with your cruise fare, there is also food options that are not included. These are specialty restaurants. Many cruise lines have a steakhouse, a specialty Asian restaurant, for example, and sometimes there's some fast casual restaurants that you can go to that may cost you $12 to $20, where specialty dining costs you anywhere from $30 to $50 or more. Those are all options on your cruise. You definitely won't go hungry not doing any of these things, but some folks like to treat themselves. But just remember, something you have to budget for, not included in your cruise fare. And just like all dining experiences are not included in your cruise fare, number 11, not all shipboard activities are included in your cruise fare. There is an abundance of things to do on a cruise ship that is included in your cruise fare, but there are some other things that you have to pay an additional fee. What comes to mind for me on the MSCC side, they had a bowling alley, they had a 3D theater, they had a variety of things, and all of those things were an additional cost to the cruise fare. When we cruised on the Oasis of the Seas, they had a sushi making class, they had a guacamole making class. Those were additional. The daily activities for the cruise are listed on the paper that's sent to your room every day. Just look at those closely. If there's something that you see that you want to do, look at that line item, see if it's something that's included with your fare or something that costs additional. And in all of these things, it is your shipboard account where you will be charged. So if you go to the $12 sushi making class, for example, they will either scan your card or your wearable or take down your room number, and that way your shipboard account gets charged. You don't have to have additional cash for that. And there are a few expenses that you will incur that happen even before you get on the cruise ship. The first one that comes to mind is parking. If you are somebody that drives to your cruise port, if you drive to your embarkation point, you're gonna have to do something with your car. The cruise terminals have a parking structure there, and then there's also parking lots surrounding cruise terminals, many times with a shuttle service. If you park right there at the cruise port, the daily rate will probably be more expensive, but there is a convenience factor of being that close to the ship to get on and off of the ship. If you want to save some coin, I prefer the shuttle service. I like a parking lot that's away from the cruise port that I can take a shuttle for. We've used several of those, so you have options. But the one thing that you have to keep in mind is that your cruise fare does not include your parking, that is an additional fee that you have to be mindful of. Number 13 on the list is transportation to the cruise port. If you didn't drive, if you didn't park, say maybe you flew in, you might need a shuttle from the airport to the cruise port. Many times you can have this fee added on to your cruise fare. This is called a transfer, called a shuttle. Your travel agent can help you out with that. The cruise line can help you out with that. But if you don't do that in advance, you will have to engage a shuttle service. You might have to use one of the ride sharing services, Lyft or Uber, to get to maybe a hotel or to get to the cruise port. Number 14 is a travel visa. This is not required for every cruise port that you go to. I can think of a couple examples. When we went to Havana, Cuba on the Carnival Paradise back in 2017, an additional expense that we had beyond our cruise fare was an $80 fee for a visa to get into and out of Cuba. Going through the same thing right now. I'm going on a cruise out of Shanghai, China in just a couple months, and I'm working on the process now where I have to pay $150 extra to get a visa that will allow me to enter and to exit China. So obviously that's not included in my cruise fare. That's just an additional expense that I have to go on that cruise. So if you're going somewhere that may require a visa in and out of the country, that will be an additional expense that you'll have to account for that was not included in your base cruise fare. And number 15 is another one that you will need to pay in advance. This is travel insurance. When you book your cruise, at the time of purchase, many of the cruise lines will offer you a travel protection program, a travel insurance program. That's pretty pricey. There are also third-party companies that offer travel insurance, travel protection. Travel insurance to me is one of those things that is essential. We've never paid more than $200 for travel insurance. We use a third-party insurance, and we do it primarily for medical insurance. We've never got the trip cancellation rider, for example, which makes that cost go up. But for us, we're primarily looking to have medevac protection. We're looking to have medical coverage, and so we always get travel insurance. Without it, if something goes wrong, it can be a life-changing expense. And again, to me, it's worth the $150, the $200 to pay for travel insurance just to make sure that I don't have that larger expense. Number 16, this one will seem kind of obvious, but just want to point it out here. Any of the shopping that you do at the shops on the cruise ship, souvenir shopping, diamond shopping, clothes shopping, anything that the cruise line has, that's an additional fare. Again, all of those things will be charged back to your shipboard account. You don't have to carry your credit card or cash. Those will be charged back to your shipboard account, but you will be charged. None of those things are included. So when you go into a shop, go into a store on the cruise ship, know that you're spending money that was not included in your base fare. Number 17, for folks that have children and you use the onboard childcare or you have your children in one of the children's programs, it really does turn into childcare once you move later into the evening, and they will charge you a fee for that. You just need to check to see what time the normal activities end, and you can expect that anything after those normal activities will be an additional charge. It varies by cruise line, but if you think you're going to go out, stay out late as a couple, maybe stay out late to the casino as a couple, and you need somebody to watch your small children, make sure you budget money for that. Another one that seems obvious is that if you are a gambler, there's no gamble money included in your cruise fare. Maybe if you get a special deal, a casino offer, maybe they throw you some onboard credit that you could use in the casino. But for the most part, if you're going to the casino and you're a gambler, don't forget to bring a bankroll that you can manage. It is an additional amount of money that you need beyond your cruise fare. Gonna test the fates. You gotta have the right bankroll. Number 19 on my list are laundry services and laundry facilities. So the cool thing is if you build loyalty with a cruise line, a lot of times laundry services and laundry facilities become a perk of that loyalty. But for the most part, if you need to do laundry on the cruise ship or have your laundry done, that is an additional expense. For the laundry facility, many times you can get change right there in the facility, use the washer and dryer. And for laundry services, where you drop a bag of clothes or leave a bag of clothes to take to be laundered, those fees will just be added to your shipboard account. I think one of the better arguments for getting loyal with a cruise line is that laundry facility. One of the easiest ways to not overpack is to take less clothes, and one way to take less clothes is to use the laundry facility. So could be a good reason to get loyal with one cruise line or another. The number 20 item on my list that will cost you extra, and sometimes it will cost you a lot extra, is if you want to use the internet on the cruise ship. The Wi-Fi for most cruise lines, if you don't get some sort of perk, the Wi-Fi is not included, and the Wi-Fi is expensive. The cruise lines are doing better and better as time goes on at getting faster Wi-Fi, but at the same time, we're not seeing any free Wi-Fi. It's really hard actually to do Wi-Fi in the middle of an ocean. The technology is more expensive than what it is on land. So it makes sense that they charge for it. But in this day and age, if you're used to always being connected, know that this is not included in your cruise fare. If you want that connection to the internet, you're gonna have to pay some coin. 20 items not included in your base cruise fare. Hopefully that becomes a good list for you so you know how to budget. I don't know that I got them all. If you have one out there that I didn't have on my list, please leave it in the comments below. And I'd also be interested in knowing where your biggest cruise expense is. Do you spend more in alcohol, or do you spend more in pictures, or do you spend more in the shops? I'd be interested to see where you spend your money, if it's not too personal, but it's interesting. I would say for me, the most money I spend on the cruise ship right now is probably specialty dining and the casino. I always take a budget for my gambling, and most of the things that I buy that's usually included already would be trying out specialty dining and the Wi-Fi. So those are a big 3 category for me. What are some of these things that you spend your money on? It'd be an interesting conversation. Thanks so much for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button. Come join us over at Facebook on the Lido Loca cruising community. Be a part of the Loca fam. Again, this is Tony with Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.